better to talk about what the future holds for creativity and culture than a man who transcends generations and he has seen it all. Shekhar Kapur is known best for his brave, creative experimentation and an unyielding commitment to his artistic vision. As an entrepreneur again, he has been ahead of the curve. Please give your warmest reception to Shri Shekhar Kapur. Please join us on stage, sir.
I don't know how many of you know this, but he had a really successful and prosperous career in London. His uncle, Devanand, sold him the dream of becoming a movie star. He gave it all up, came to India, became a star, acted in films, decided that what he really wanted to do was directing, followed that dream, made big hits, then decided perhaps he would do it abroad. He went abroad, made even bigger hits.
I'm not a filmmaker.
You're not a filmmaker?
I'm not a, you know, when I was 24 as a chartered accountant,
Yeah.
I realized that there was one word that I was going to drop for my life.
And that was?
Well, Delhi mein all the middle class people, he's doing very well for himself. So when they said he's doing very well for myself as a chartered accountant, I said, that's not what I want. So I dropped the word career. I've never, ever followed a career, ever. I've said, that's one word. I'm just going to go on an adventure of self-discovery.
You've always been, it seems to me, one of the few people who's been right about the direction in which the entertainment industry is going globally. So tell us where you see the world going.
I think the winds of change are coming,
Yeah.
and they're coming harsher and stronger than we believe they are. I think even now, when we talk about Marvel movies, we talk about Black Panther, it's still a white man's point of view.
Yeah.
It's still a Western point of view because the white man has controlled us for so long. What going to happen in that context is that Asian films, African films, all of them will come from a different narrative. The narrative has to change. In this world, in many, many ways right now, the narrative is still Western. That's where the winds come from. When the narrative changes, the true change will happen in culture, right? Of course, we'll come to a global culture. But where are we going now? I think we'll talk about that. I want somebody to challenge me. Technology, you see, storytelling is the same thing. Somewhere the moralities of story change. But what changes constantly is technology. And technology is the way that we disseminate stories to the rest of the world. If you say the way we shoot, the digital has made films much cheaper. I can do my visual effects in camera. You know, when I was making Mr. India, we used to call the old Mitchell cameras, jo kabhi use hi nahi hote.
Yeah.
So we used to get them. Then my DOP would go back and then mask a bit of the frame. We used to mask the same piece of film 4 times. Now I don't have to do anything of that. The digital has allowed me to do anything that I want on screen. And the digital has allowed me to do it while I'm filming. But it's in the way that we're going. The metaverse is the way we're going. The metaverse for our business in India can be $1 trillion business if we get it right. You watch.
How much is that in crores? I can't even think
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
about so much in crores that we can buy the GDP of India, right? So there's a different world coming in which we have to catch the tsunami of. And that's worth content. I'm not just saying film. I'm saying content. The creation of content is going to be worth $1 trillion. I'm saying that. And it will be.
You've worked all over the world, so you're the right person to ask this question to. How does creativity in the Indian entertainment industry compare to the world?
I think we're very creative people. We are a land of great storytellers. But from a filmmaker's point of view, the politics of what goes on before you can get to action and the politics of what happens after you say cut is different all over the world. So it's politics and organization that's different. I used to say this, that making a film in the West is like going to the supermarket. It's all organized, you pick up thing here and you pick up this here, this is my film. Making a film in India was like going to the Chor Bazaar. You never quite knew what you were getting, but there's an adventure in the chaos of Chor Bazaar. So when I went to the West, I missed that adventure because ultimately it's out of chaos that creativity arises, not out of structure. So sometimes I find the structure of working in the West too constricting, boring.
You did The Four Feathers, But also, people say that unlike most Miramax movies, you went in and started shooting even before the script was ready, but you were able to do it because you knew how to improvise, having worked in India. Is that true?
Yeah.
It is
yeah,
true.
Yeah. But I can tell you something about Four Feathers. It was about a big battle, but it was a battle between me and the studio heads also.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah,
and
you
one
must
of the
have called
studio
it.
heads is now a person of disrepute, so we
No,
won't go.
I remember sitting with the studio heads and disagreeing with them.
Yeah.
And they said, Mr. Kapoor, if you go on like this, you'll never work in this town again. I just started to laugh. And they couldn't understand why I'm laughing. And I said, you know, guys, take care of your own destiny.
Yeah.
My destiny will take care of myself. So don't ever make those statements. And that was to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So where is he now?
You were dealing with the biggest bully in Hollywood. Yeah,
I
who
know.
would bullied bigger actors, bigger directors, and you apparently stood up to him and told him to, well, to coin a phrase, to FO. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I love my actors though. But so when I went from here to do Elizabeth, and we didn't know who to cast Elizabeth. So on one little thing, I saw Kate Blanchett. And I said, yeah, she should be Elizabeth. So I went to my producers and said, she should be Elizabeth. And my agent called me and said, Shekhar, every big actress in Hollywood wants to play Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And there's this girl called Kate Blanchett that nobody knows. And you know what? If you keep insisting on it, they'll fire you. So I got up in the morning, picked up the phone and said, let them fire me.
And yet, such is the power of your film that now when we think of Elizabeth, we think of Kate Blanchett.
I've always been good at casting actors. I've actually given a lot. I can think of six or seven major actors today who got their first break with me.
Tell me.
Our Bond, Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig was in Elizabeth. Eddie Redmayne, he was a small bit role of an assassin in Golden Age. And I still remember talking to Eddie Redmayne. He said, Shekhar, I'm not a good enough actor. The producer's telling me, isko nikal do, ye acha actor. I said, bhaiya, bahut acha actor hai. I had a big fight casting Heath Ledger in Four Feathers because he wasn't that well known at that time.
And he became, A Knight's Tale, I think, was released when you were still filming, and he became a big star while you were filming.
Yeah, but I filmed before that. There's an adventure in casting people that nobody knows and exploring them and giving them a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shekhar Kapoor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kapoor. I'd like to invite on stage Rajesh Agrahari, founder of Rajesh Masale, to kindly hand over a memento to our honorable guest.
ABP न्यूज़ आपको रखे आगे।